The position of Premier Minister in France constitutional foundations. The office of the Premier Minister is established under the Constitution of the Fifth Republic adopted the 4th of October, 1958. Two key articles define its place. Article 8 states that the President of the Republic appoints the Prime Minister, and on the Prime Minister's proposal, the other ministers. Article 21 assigns to the Prime Minister the task of directing the actions of the government and ensures that decrees and decisions are countersigned as needed. In effect, the Prime Minister is the head of government in France, while the President is head of state, though the balance of power between them depends heavily on the political context. For example, whether they come from the same political majority, functions, and constraints. The Prime Minister's responsibilities include organizing and coordinating government action and policy, overseeing the implementation of laws, supervising ministries and directing interministerial coordination, proposing appointments of ministers to the President, managing day-to-day government business and crisis situations. However, several constraints temper the Prime Minister's power. The Prime Minister is politically accountable to the National Assembly, which can overthrow the government via a motion of no confidence. The President may play a strong role in executive decisions, especially when the President and Prime Minister share the same political alignment in times of cohabitation. When the President and parliamentary majority are from opposing camps, the Prime Minister tends to gain more autonomy in domestic affairs. Thus, while the Prime Minister is formally central to governance, in practice, his or her influence depends largely on parliamentary support and presidential backing. Recent developments. Political turbulence. In 2025, Lecornu's appointment, resignation, and reappointment. On the 9th of September 2025, Sébastien Lecornu was appointed as Prime Minister by President Macron, succeeding François Bayrou. He presented his cabinet on the 5th of October, but tendered his resignation on the 6th of October. Mere hours after the government's unveiling, making his government the shortest-lived in the history of the Fifth Republic. On the 10th of October 2025, Macron reappointed Lecornu to attempt to form a stable government in his reappointment. Lecornu emphasized acting out of duty and pledged to seek cooperation across the political spectrum. This dramatic turn reflects deep instability in French politics and the difficulty of governing without a clear parliamentary majority. Political and economic fallout. The frequent changes in government have raised concerns about France's ability to pass essential legislation, notably the 2026 national budget. Credit rating agencies have flagged the political paralysis as a risk to France's fiscal stability and overall credit. Opposition parties, including both the far left and far right, have strongly criticized the reappointment and have threatened motions of no confidence. This instability adds to a broader atmosphere of uncertainty, constraining economic decision-making and paralyzing bold reforms. Significance and challenges going forward. The Prime Minister's institutional role. The French case exemplifies how constitutional powers can only go so far without parliamentary backing. The Prime Minister must constantly negotiate between executive leadership driving government policy, making decisions, legislative constraints, ensuring the Assembly does not overthrow the government, political reality, managing party alliances, public expectations, institutional legitimacy. In practice, a strong Prime Minister is one who can balance these pressures, maintaining a working coalition while asserting leadership within the executive. Key challenges ahead: forming a stable majority without a clear mandate or coalition. Any government risks collapse. The fragmentation of French politics increases this difficulty. Passing the 2026 budget. As a sovereign duty, failing to secure the budget would deal a heavy blow to the government's credibility. Managing presidential prime minister dynamics must navigate between showing initiative and aligning with Macron's broader agenda, asserting himself without being overshadowed, restoring public trust. Repeated government collapses may erode citizens' confidence in institutional stability and governance.